Hi everybody, welcome to AZCast number 3. I'm your host Az, and joined as always my co-host Zerg. How you doing, dude?
Not too bad. Yourself? How are you?
Not bad actually. First time in a long time, been feeling pretty good.
Awesome.
I
Good for you.
like this feeling, long may it continue.
Yeah,
We got
send some my way, please.
both episodes we've done so far have completely overrun. Our planned action was to try and get it to approximately an hour. Yeah, give or take a few minutes, sure. But first episode, an hour and 10 minutes. Second episode, an hour and 17 minutes. Let's try and get this to an hour.
Yes, let's try.
Or under. I'll be happy with under.
Under would be good.
10 minutes, in out, put kettle on. That'd be a pretty crap podcast. Right. No, we need to discuss things.
That's like, I just rabbit on, so...
Otherwise, hey, there you go, folks. Podcast over.
Yeah, that's short and sweet. Bye.
Yeah, sure. But as always, we're going to start... I can say as always now, 3 episodes in. Definitely say as always. As always, going to start off with the news and our favourite game publisher of all time, EA. Back in the headlines with a couple of pieces of news today. Well, not necessarily this week, I should stress. First of all, leaked memo looks like they've essentially given up on Battlefront 2.
Yes.
There's no planned content. There's no roadmap for planned content. This seems to be a reaction, obviously, to not being able to egregiously sell people loot boxes in a pay-to-win system, which the game was set up to be, which they got called out on, and then had to change it to actually a linear progression system that people have paid their money for. Oh, yeah, you are assholes. And then on top of that, it doesn't look like EA have learnt a single solitary thing from their loot box controversy with Battlefront 2, because in their recent earnings call, they said quite happily to investors they were pushing on with loot boxes, particularly in reference to the FIFA game, the FIFA franchise, and their Ultimate Team, where you are buying a loot box, you've got no idea of the drop rates of the players inside, and obviously you're hoping for a Lionel Messi or a Ronaldo or somebody of that ilk. Take a Gareth Bale.
You're just saying names as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I thought so. I was looking at those dead eyes back there. But EA, it's all in. It's nothing about the game anymore, is it?
You said it's all in the game, but it really isn't anymore.
Well, I was going to say it's all in the profit, but I thought the other one sounded better. Yeah, it's just. What can you say about them?
Nothing that's already been said, to be honest.
But okay, in regards to the loot box controversy, not only does it show that they've learnt nothing, they're not looking to make any changes. They're not looking, especially with a lot of countries now deeming loot boxes as gambling and therefore illegal. Belgium, of course, we discussed a couple of weeks back, and I think in the first episode. But it also shows that whenever they apologise for anything to do with Battlefront 2, it was just a sack of lies.
Yeah, it's like, oh, sorry.
Sorry, we didn't get away with it. Should have been an apology.
Sorry I took a shit in your dinner.
Well, it's just like, but it's not though. It's like Bungie with Destiny 2 recently, when they got caught out with the EXP hampering, throttling and stuff. And then when they got caught out with this, and when they got caught out with that, and they kept saying, oh, we're sorry. You're not sorry. The only thing you're sorry about is that you got caught. That is the only thing that you are sorry about. Yeah. You're not sorry to your fan base. You're not sorry to your community. You're not sorry about the detriment it's having on any of your games. You're sorry you got caught. That's your apology. And that's what it should be.
It's not even sorry. It's like, oops.
Well, it kind of is oops, but they've got to, spin it to sound like oops, we got caught. Doesn't sound like oops, we got caught. It sounds like we're sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sorry, like that.
That's on me. Sorry.
So EA, just EA. Fuck, I'm not going to swear this week. I refuse to swear this week. Fucking EA. Just.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you credit. You did last all of 3 seconds.
3.
Yeah,
that seems quite long.
3.
No, seriously though, it's just a damning indictment of the gaming industry as a whole. Get caught, do something egregious, get caught, false placating of your audience, and hope that enough of the people that trust you accept it, and then go back to square one where you try and screw your community again. But yeah, EA just a colossal bag of wank of a company, and I think I've said this before, I'm repeating myself. I've got there's about 67 games behind me if you've seen this on audio. About 67 PlayStation games behind me. There's about 4 of them about EA, or published by EA. One of them I got free with my Pro, which was the FIFA
right.
2017. One of them is Dragon Age, which is actually BioWare, but BioWare, of course, are essentially owned by... Well, they are owned by EA. And therefore, EA publish. And then I can't even remember the other couple. But I try to avoid it. I try to avoid this company wherever I can. If I can avoid purchasing an EA game, I will.
Well, it's like I really want to get the remastered Burnout Paradise, but I just don't want to support them.
No, I loved Burnout Paradise back in the day.
Yeah, same.
Had many hours of enjoyment with that game, playing with people worldwide, making friends worldwide, and absolutely adored it. I refuse to buy the remaster. I refuse to. Absolutely refuse to. I will not, if possible, put money in EA's pocket. Oh. And I think Anthem, when Anthem releases, and I'm already worried that BioWare is going to become a casualty of this, monumental pile of shit of a company. But even when Anthem comes out, I think I'm probably going to wait to see what the reaction is to the actual game, but not the knee-jerk reaction.
Yes.
Not the it's out, there's stuff to do reaction. Maybe the month down the line, and what is it like later, what's it like now reaction. But EA, shove it up your ass. You are just a disgusting piece of scum in the gaming industry.
Jog on.
And I hope your company falls through. It won't, though. It just makes too much money.
Yeah.
Right, so let's go from the shite to the shittier. Shittier because it's bad news. Again, bad news week. We've got some good discussion points. Well, not if you're Cliffy B. But we've got some good discussion points anyway. So at least that should up the mood. He says, radio silence. But the other piece of bad news, Shenmue 3 has been delayed to 2019, officially. I don't know if you have any knowledge of the Shenmue franchise, any love of the Shenmue franchise.
I know of it. I've never played it. I only know of it through you because when you've spoken to me about it before, you are just absolutely passionate about it and very well aware that the community that is in love with it is extremely passionate about it. I've never played it.
Shenmue was the game that invented QTE, quick time events.
Right.
Pretty sure on that one, and it's made by Yu Suzuki, who made the Virtua Fighter games and such like that. Right. Yu Suzuki, massive name in Japan in terms of game development, game design. Shenmue, the series was originally planned to be 17 parts.
What?
Yeah.
Was it? So you say 17 parts. Was this supposed to rival Final Fantasy then?
Well, it wasn't meant to go 17 games. Some games would have multiple parts. Shenmue 2, I believe, was meant to be parts 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, or something like that. So multiple games, but it was meant to be. It certainly meant to extend beyond Shenmue 2.
Okay.
Now, I if you're watching again this visually, you won't be able to see, but down below behind me, I actually have both the boxed up Dreamcast versions of Shenmue 1, Shenmue 2. I absolutely adored this game when it came out. It's a mixture of so many different genres. I think that's what makes it so appealing. You have your like scrolling fighter almost, but 3D fighter, because you end up in scraps with people.
Right.
You can go into arcades and play old school arcade games from years gone by, Afterburner, stuff like that. You can get a job in the game. You can actually get a job and work and earn money. Because you gotta live, dude. Bitch gotta live. Bitch gotta earn some coin.
I'm playing a game.
Yeah, but it's fun.
Job in
You like forklift driving. You're driving shit around.
Oh, that
time
doesn't sound like
goes
fun.
like quicker than it does in reality, obviously.
Right. Okay. So you're not
yeah,
doing a 9 to 5.
Your
inside
working
the
day
game.
lasts about an hour or something. Well, half an hour. I don't know. Whatever it does.
Yeah.
You go out to you meet so many different people. It's got massive, huge RPG elements in it. So it's an open, it's like it's sort of ish open world, segmented open world, segmented, but and it's set in the 80s as well,
Okay.
which is a huge thing. I don't know if my cat was screaming at me then. And so it's got loads of little things going for it. And the first two games went down really well. Very expensive to make in the day. Very, very expensive to make in the day. And although the series had great love, it got canned after the second one.
What? Why? This game sounds amazing. Why did it get canned?
I don't know if it was sales. I don't know if sales didn't live up to expectations. I know the first game did pretty well in terms of sales, but I don't know if it was looked as cost versus sales versus profit, and it wasn't proving to be as profitable as they wanted to. But I'd have to look into the reasons for the demise of Shenmue, but it got axed after 2 games. I think the first one came out in 2000. I think it was 2000, 2001, or 1999 and 2001 that the 2 games came out. They came out pretty, relatively quick succession of each other. But the second one did show, quite a lot of graphical improvements on the first. So it wasn't as if it was just like, whipped out. And so in 2015, Yu Suzuki took to the stage in the Sony press conference at E3 and announced a Kickstarter campaign for Shenmue 3, which I immediately threw all my money at because I wanted this game. Hundreds of pounds.
Give it to me now!
Hundreds of pounds I've thrown at this game to get it made. And also, for the pledge I put in, I get artwork signed by Yu Suzuki and stuff. So I get beautiful things which would mean a lot to me as a Shenmue fan. But they were depending on how much you pledged, you could go all the way to going out to Japan and having, I think it was Monaco, for lunch with him, for a meal with him, and stuff like this.
So they hit their Kickstarter goal then?
They destroyed it. They set a new Kickstarter record for video games, $6.3 million. So that was a colossal amount that came in. They hit their goal. I think their goal was $2 million.
Right.
And they hit their goal of $2 million, I think, within 24 hours.
That's crazy.
And then they raised another 4.x million, in the remaining 29 days. They also have the late starter campaign and all this kind of stuff where you can still fund. There was a little bit of controversy because then it looked like Sony got involved and some other companies have got involved and put some money in as well. So it looks like it's not only Kickstarter funded, but this is funded by other avenues. And if it's if it's going to be funded by other avenues, why the Kickstarter? So yeah, there have been some controversies, but it was slated originally for a December 2017 release. Now, I'm not stupid. Well, I am. But I never expected that to be the case. I never expected it to hit the day, especially when it was June 2015 that they announced it. 2.5 years, finish it, get it out. Nah, man.
For a game that you're describing is going to be, phenomenal.
Well,
it goes off of its other ones.
Well, I think in 2018, where we are right now, I think we have to just temper what it's going to be like. This isn't going to be a revolutionary game. This, in actual fact, is probably going to be more of a retro game in terms of, although graphically it'll look much nicer than it did, X amount of years ago. It's probably still going to have its hallmarks. It's going to have its QTE events. It's going to have its job. It's going to basically be like the other Shenmues, but a prettier version. Okay. So essentially, it will actually have older things which people have seen done to death. Like QTE's now been done to death.
Yeah,
a lot of people get pissed off with QTE in games.
I mean, they're everywhere. I dream about them.
I like QTE. But quick, I before I set my alarm, I hit X. QTE. And stuff like that. So I think it's actually going to be pretty old school, but I just think it's going to look prettier. But it's been delayed. Now going into 2019. They've said that they want to make it even nicer.
Right. So
I would rather them take their time and not rush.
Well, I understand. I mean, you've got all these people that have pledged to it. I mean, they want this game. There's a lot of people out there that are, have love for the franchise. So why not take as long as you can on it to polish it? Especially with the hardware that's now coming out this year and next year. A majority of developers are going to already have this hardware to test and already develop stuff for. So why not make use of it?
It's going to be PlayStation 4 and PC only, I think.
Yeah, I'd imagine they're going to be taking
it's coming out on Xbox. I don't think it's coming out on Xbox.
Yeah.
But a little ray of sunshine, later this year you will be able to purchase Shenmue 1 and 2 on PlayStation 4.
That's pretty cool. I might have to pick that up then.
Don't think it's graphically remastered.
Oh, I don't care.
But I still allows me to play it, but it'll still give people the opportunity to play it who haven't played it. But yeah, so the sad news, Shenmue 3 has been delayed into next year. I want my shit. I want my game and I want my shit.
Yeah, but they're gonna polish it even better, so you're gonna get a better experience.
No, it's just it's weird, right? When you pledged several £100 3 years ago.
You're kind of like waiting on
you. Yeah, and 3 years later, you haven't seen a single solitary return on your investment. It's just like...
It's growing slowly.
Well, no, it just worries you, that's all. Okay, so that's the news. Just a couple of quick bits of news this week. Other than that, we'll just be slagging off other shit. So I'm going to start off the discussion points with Fortnite. Last week, I said to you, have you ever played Fortnite? You said no. I said, right, this week we're going to do it. This week we did it. As soon as we finished, I told you to piss off. So I didn't want to hear any of your thoughts or anything like that.
You didn't even give me a chance to say goodbye. My cat carrier fell off, so I was dealing with that, trying to say goodbye to you at the same time.
It wasn't a cat carrier, it's a litter tree. So the question is... We play first. Actually, to set the scene, we played some 50 versus 50 in the same squad, and then we did a duo match together.
Yeah.
And we probably had about 5-6 games in total. So the question is, the big question: did you enjoy it?
Simple answer.
Yes.
Yes, I did.
All right.
Was that
now
because
the not so simple answer?
Was that because of the tequila I was drinking at the same time? And the company I had? Because let's be honest, we had some giggles.
Yeah, but I think every game's fun when you play with friends anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
But as an actual game itself.
As an actual game, can I see myself going back to it?
Put it this way. Let me ask you another question.
Okay.
Would you play this game solo?
No.
Right. Why?
Because that kind of game to me feels like I'm going to get more fun out of it, working together as a team, like the duos, watching each other's back, sharing resources, like you did with me with the shields. You drank some of the shields, you gave it to me, and vice versa. I like that cooperation. That's why I play a lot of horde games, because I like to work together in a team to, get an objective done. If I want to play solo, I'll play story games. Because I sit there in silence, and if I'm going to do that, I might as well be listening to a story.
So, I mean, that to me says that you didn't particularly enjoy Fortnite then.
I enjoyed it because I had company. Because we were playing together. Had I been playing it by myself, I'd probably be saying it was a load of shite.
Would you?
It was boring. Yeah, because I'd be bored.
Wow.
Because there was times where me and you, when we were hiding in bushes. Right? We're hiding in bushes. Now, if I was doing that solo, I'd be bored out of my head. But because I had company, and oh look, it's a bush with a giant blueberry, because it was me in a blue beanie in game, we were giggling about it and having a laugh. It's like, oh look, shit, there's someone over there. We were doing call outs and whatnot. But when you're sat there by yourself, it's all internal, and to me, that's just a bit more boring.
Fair enough.
I see the appeal.
I mean, of course, I see the appeal.
Yeah.
I'm quite surprised. It felt like you were actually really enjoying it, and I actually thought I had potentially converted you to giving it a little bit of a run. Clearly not.
Well, if you asked me to play co-op again, I'd say yes, but you wouldn't catch me playing it by myself.
Wow, and I thought this was going to be a discussion piece.
I'm so sorry. I've just thrown it out the window.
Shot it down, in absolute flames.
I'm just being honest.
No. Hey. I don't want you to tell fibs or anything like that at all. I'm not gonna say that I'm the world's biggest Fortnite fan or anything like that. But I do find that Fortnite fills a hole. Yeah. If I'm just feeling in that need for a bit of shooty.
I getcha.
It's kind of like filling that hole that a lot of shooter games just aren't at the moment. I mean, I wouldn't even think about logging onto like a Destiny 2. I would like to give PUBG a better run. I've grown up on shooters on console, not PCs, and therefore keyboard mouse is really, really alien to me as a way of playing first person shooters or third person shooters in whichever case, and also if you try and play with pad, you're going to get pwned by PC players. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Whereas Fortnite I don't know, there's just something very fluid about Fortnite, which kind of gets my vote. It kind of pushes all the other ones out the way. Looter shooters, Destiny.
That's fair. That's totally fair.
Just pushes it all out the way. Yeah, but okay, we'll leave that.
Well, you want shorter discussions.
The moral of the story is, fuck you, Az. Jeez Christ. No. I said I would play co-op. I would play co-op with you. The moral of the story is, people are gonna like shit, and people ain't gonna like shit, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Some shit's better with friends.
Now on the first episode that we did, I said we're going to discuss things in and out of gaming.
Right.
And then I said, what do I even mean by out of gaming? And we knew what we meant.
I've got an orange if you want to discuss that.
No. I pass. But okay. We're going to go slightly out of... Well, we're going out of video gaming, but we're staying within gaming. I'm trying to look at different things to do away from the PC.
I'm the same.
That's what I'm trying to do. And one of them could be exercise, but fuck that. No, one of them could be exercise and is. But I'm looking for like hobbies, hobbies away. And I know, and it's like, exercise can be a hobby. I know. I'm going to start going back to gym. Now that I'm actually recovering and in a position where I can use parts of my body which I couldn't use before, like my legs, going to be returning back to the gym. But also, want to be doing something with friends as well. So, I have taken up a new hobby.
Mm-hmm.
I've taken up crack.
Oh, shit. Really? How are you finding it?
Bit addictive.
Yeah?
Bit addictive. Yeah, I
have some side effects.
I have taken up plastic crack, commonly referred to as Warhammer 40K. So my friends are all abroad currently, twats, for a couple of weeks, sunning themselves while I'm sat here working. And before they left, we're having a bit of a chat. We wanted a hobby that we could all get invested in, that we could all socialise in, and the thing that came up was Warhammer 40K. And I hadn't touched Warhammer for 25 years.
That's
or
a
something
long
like that.
time.
About 25 years ago, I collected like the little epic. I don't know if the Warhammer Epic.
Were they the little metal ones?
Well, they were metal those days. Not metal now at all. It's all plaggy. But like instead of like one soldier on a base in the epic version, you'd have 5 tiny soldiers. So you could build bigger, much bigger armies and get on that. But it was discontinued. Like it only stayed around for about 3 years or so, I think, and then they discontinued it, and it's all back to the single mob per base type of business. So I'm on the plastic crack. So we decided on Warhammer before they went away on their jollies. Most of us had decided which factions we're going to play, so we don't tread on each other's toes.
That's cool. That's a nice organisation.
Space Marines. Surely would have heard of Space
I've played Space Marines on the 360. That was so good.
So it is that in its tabletop form. So I think one of us has gone with Space Marines. I've gone with Chaos, more particularly Plague Marines, or Nurgle, who's the god of pestilence and disease.
Very warlocky.
Hey.
Very warlocky.
Well, yeah, look, I mean, I chose that for multiple reasons. Number one, quite warlocky, because I'm World of Warcraft, warlock. Number two, it sort of fit in with Sylvanas' current attitude in the World of Warcraft as well, with the blight and all that kind of jazz. And the very first character I did roll wasn't just a warlock, it was an undead warlock. And so there's lots of little reasons why I chose what I chose, and it is quite World of Warcraft orientated as to why I made my decisions. I have no idea how strong my army is. I don't think it's very strong at all.
As long as you're having fun,
exactly. Don't give a toss. It's all about having a laugh, having some fun with your friends, and being able to do something together. I think Meat Feast has gone with the Tyranids, which is kind of like the what they called from StarCraft, Zerglings.
Oh yes, Zerg.
It's kind of like the Zerg from StarCraft, if you look at it in those simplistic terms, or kind of like the aliens from Starship Troopers.
Ah yes, the bugs.
Yeah, just bugs. They're just bugs that wreck you.
Big mutated ugly bugs that you don't really want to go on a date with.
Well, let's not be hasty.
I suppose you what you.
It's been a while, Ricky.
Okay, sorry.
Daddy Az needs some love. I've got to look for where I can get it.
You need that bug loving, yeah? That bug loving.
I've got to look where I can get it.
Okay.
So I'm not bugs. I'm not saying no. It's in the maybe column. And then the final, there's 4 of us in total. The final, I think I did 3 there. I said there's 4 of us in total. The final one has gone with, I don't know, something called like the Astra Militarium or something like that, which is like kind of a little bit like old school tanks and soldiers and stuff.
Yes, I know those ones, yeah.
So it's kind of like, so we've each chosen our various factions and whatnot. So we've kind of done some purchases. Even the guys who are on holiday, because we've got our own little text group on the old phone, and they've been sending me messages from abroad. This is how sad it is. They're abroad, sunning themselves for 2 weeks. They've just gone past the first week, still got another week. They're texting me saying, well, I bought this on eBay, and I bought these, and I bought this, and I bought this on eBay.
So they're on holiday buying things on eBay.
They're on holiday buying Warcraft.
No, not Warcraft.
Yeah, oh, sorry, no, buying Warhammer.
Not Warcraft.
They're on holiday in the sun buying Warhammer on eBay. Work that one out, folks. And I had some stuff. I got myself some Chaos Space Marines, but I've kind of like wanted to turn to the Plague Marines, which is slightly different. Mm-hmm. So I've had to make a wee adjustment. So it kind of looks like my initial purchases have all been for nothing. My God, this is expensive stuff.
Yes, I know. Every time I go into the Warhammer shop, because in my local town, we have a comic shop and Warhammer shop in one. So I go in for the comics, and I always end up looking at the Warhammer stuff. I'm like, I really wish I could buy a Titan. Like they're like, and I like, I don't know whether it's full metal or not. The detail on it. I look at it and I go, I really want you. I want to build you. I want to paint you, and I just want you just to look absolutely gorgeous. And you see the price point, not just on the Titan itself or the models. You got to buy the paintbrushes, the paints, the primers, the glue. If there's stuff put together, it is expensive.
You hit the nail on the head there, dude. This ain't as simple as just being able to buy the models. You got to buy the models. You got to buy the primers. You got to buy the brushes. You got to buy the glue. You got to buy the clippers. You got to buy the paints. You got to buy the base paints. You got to buy the layer paints. You got to buy the effect paints, or whatever they're called, for the like highlight paints. Yeah, this is redonkulously expensive.
But goddamn, do you get satisfaction once you feed the shit?
All right, look, I've spent the last 2 days building up my Plague Marines.
High as a kite.
I'm a grown man, people. Don't give a shit. Do not give a shit. I got people walking past me outside when I'm doing it in the sun. Not giving a fuck. Are you sorry, sir? You, sir, middle-aged man over there. Are you playing with little figurines? Yep. Don't give a fuck. Don't give no fucks, mate.
Are you happy? No, you're not. I am.
Yes.
Jog on.
How's your suit and your 9 to 5 yet?
Yeah. Got a bit of starch on there.
Yeah. Got a bit of starch on your collar, so it's feeling a bit stiff. So yeah, yesterday and today I've been spending the last couple of days like building up my Plague Marines, building up my Poxwalkers, who are like essentially mindless zombies. Awesome. And then gluing them to the bases. Look, I'm gonna have to do a confession here, because considering the Fortnite discussion was so short, I'm going to drag this. Full disclosure, I was up to 4 a.m. last night. I was up till 4 a.m. gluing together the pieces and basing them. I refused to go to bed until I'd done it all.
But the main thing, you enjoyed it. You were getting satisfaction out of it.
I wouldn't have been doing it if I didn't. I was thoroughly enjoying it. I was getting all giddy, little giddy schoolgirl. And then today, woke up with a stinking headache. Probably
can't imagine why.
Probably way too much glue sniffing yesterday. Woke up storming headache. I was like, fuck.
Did you realize there is a warning on there to use in a well-ventilated area?
I've got my windows open. My window's open. My room is ventilated, but I still think I sniffed more glue than was
okay,
recommended.
Here's the question. Here's the kicker.
Uh-huh.
2 questions. How long was you doing it? Like from start to finish, like when you went to bed at 4 a.m., what time did you start?
I started at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
So you got nearly 14 hours.
Yeah. And I managed, in those 14 hours, I managed to glue together and base 20 Poxwalkers, 14 Space Marines.
Holy crap.
3, like, lieutenants.
Right.
And a small craft.
Right. Okay. When was the last time you played a game for that extent of time?
14 hours straight, no breaks.
Yeah.
Probably God of War, actually. Dramatic pause. It may be God of War, but if we get rid of God of War, I couldn't remember. Not even stuff like WoW or Final Fantasy. I haven't been able to play in chunks of like 14 hours or anything like that. For, you know.
Yeah.
Possibly God of War, because God of War was just so good. Yeah. But other than that, no. And it was just nice because I just had whatever I wanted on YouTube, just playing in the background. I was paying attention to what I was trying to do. I was trying to do as best a job as I possibly could. And, as you probably know, when you get the figures, they're just like grey plastic. Yeah. They're just like grey plastic. And the reason why you are meant to prime these figures for painting is, number one, it makes the paint go on easier.
Yeah, painting on plastic is a pain in the ass.
Oh, yeah. But I gotta say, number 2, like, today I spray painted all of them Chaos Black.
Okay, so you gave them a base black.
Yeah, to put the primer on. I put my primer on it, and it was Chaos Black primer.
Right.
And the level of detail that pops on the figurines when they've dried black.
I can imagine it's something.
Because when you're looking at them grey, you're just like, I don't know where the fuck to start painting this. But when you see it black primed, you can see everything. And it's just like, oh, hi. So
How you doing?
Yeah, I know. So I also did a standard. I also created another mob, which I didn't tell you, which is like a standard bearer. He's holding a flag.
Right.
And I've created him because he's going to be my test bed. So he's going to be the first one that I start to paint. And if I completely screw it all up, it don't matter because he's my test bed. I am worried because a lot of people, when I tweeted out the pictures, obviously people say, "Hey, please do a creative stream." I think even you said do a creative stream.
I did, yeah. I saw them like,
yeah, a few people have said that. Do a painting stream, do a creative stream, and so I will. But you got to understand, this is my first soiree into this kind of business, so please don't expect anything great.
No, I think there's that is the best way to do it. Like when it comes to streaming stuff like that, because if people stick with you from start to finish, they're going to see you improve so much. They can be like,
that's the
crazy.
plan. It's meant to be fun. It's meant to be for enjoyment. I'd love to get better. Yeah. I've always, even when I was a little grommet and I was buying the Warhammer Epic, and I only played that for like 6 months. You know, it wasn't a hobby that I invested too much in terms of time, but always with money because it's always been expensive stuff. But I've always wanted to be able to paint miniatures to a standard.
Yes.
You know what standard? Not sure, but to a standard. And, this is kind of like a really good opportunity to try now and do something. I've been watching loads of painting tutorials. I've been watching, I think there's a YouTube channel, Winter's SEO. He has fights. I've just been watching the fights. I don't know the rules yet. I only bought the base game yesterday. I don't know the rules yet, but you kind of like start to pick up on certain things. Not necessarily the rules, but you pick up on certain things like terminology and stuff like that as it goes along. And yeah, this is something I'm excited about as a hobby.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's fantastic.
Now I've just got to probably go onto Twitch and sell my ass for cash. I got a plastic crack habit, people. You gotta help me.
You'll be there gluing away.
You're
like, guys, I'm running out of glue.
Yeah, I got it. It's a fucking glue. Right. So the long and the short of it is, if you want to get into something that isn't drugs but costs just as much, Warhammer's for you. Right, so let's go on to...
You can't even fault that logic.
I know, it's actually, drugs are probably cheaper. But don't tell your parents that. Let's go on to the final discussion piece today.
Yes.
Let's end things on a high. Cliffy B. Famous for things like Unreal.
Gears of War.
Unreal Tournament, Gears of War. His company, Boss Key Productions, closing down. Now, if you don't know, Cliffy B's main game... Okay, actually, I think I need to reverse this back up again.
Roll back.
Let me just roll. I'm gonna give you my experience with Cliffy B, right?
Okay.
I never really knew of Cliffy B until Gears of War. I played Unreal Tournament and stuff, but I wasn't like interested in knowing who was behind it, and I just played the game.
Yeah.
When it came to Gears of War, I did a little bit of looking. We did a little bit of research and stuff, and discovered this chap Cliff Bleszinski.
Because he hates Cliffy B.
Does he hate Cliffy B?
Yeah.
Cliffy B it is!
He hates it. Absolutely hates it.
And the reason why is Gears of War I thought was a stupendous game.
Loved it. I still find myself playing through it.
Gears of War 2, Gears of War 3. I think it's a remarkable trilogy of games. It had me at the very first advert on TV, if you can ever remember it.
Mad World.
And Marcus running through the streets.
Yeah, dives into a building, and then there's just loads of locusts everywhere.
I think there's a huge locust as well.
That advert did so well. My parents asked me about it, and if you say Mad World, they remember that advert. That's how successful it was.
I think it was such the advert was so well constructed. Number one, Mad World is great tune.
Fantastic song.
Tears for Fears, is it Mad World? Originally, I'm talking about.
Originally.
Yeah, I think it's Tears for Fears. Oh, if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I think it's Tears for Fears, Mad World. But it's a great song, regardless. Mad World's a great song. It was done in a much slower, different tone, lot more melancholy. You had this sort of post-apocalyptic, futuristic vibe. The advert was just screaming, give us more. We want more information about this Gears of War business. And I just thought the Gears of War the franchise, the first three anyway, I had no interest in Gears of War 4.
After
Gears
three,
of War 4
sort of fell off.
models come out to play. No, thank you, not interested whatsoever.
Yeah.
Gears of War 4, it's time for tropes. Gears of War 4, time for its exclusion set. It was just trying so hard to be something that Gears of War just didn't need to try and be.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed the Gears of War franchise. So I had a lot of love for Cliff Bleszinski back then. Unfortunately, he got very ill with the ego bug, and Cliff Bleszinski turned into Cliffy B. He just seemed to turn into this egocentric. I'd just say prick, to be honest with you. It was just like nothing he could do was wrong. Everything he said was, he couldn't, everything he said was right. Just one of these, nothing is ever wrong. Nothing I ever do is wrong kind of people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm going to create another $1 billion franchise like I've done before. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And the way that he came across in interviews when he was discussing, going into publishers and just going, right, I'm going to create another $1 billion franchise. And it was quite weird because he actually made these companies look quite good for just going, okay, all right, okay. Don't call us, we'll call you, Cliffy. Type of thing. So I started my own Boss Key Productions studio. And then he started developing work on Lawbreakers, which was kind of like an Unreal, but done as if it was Overwatch.
Mm.
And the way... Now, to me, he completely missold Lawbreakers. Because he kind of made it sound like it was just going to be an elite shooter in the vein of Quake, Unreal Tournament, like you'd done in the past, Unreal Tournament. And to me, he was already kind of like telling quite a lot of the potential players, fuck off, this ain't for you. Because it's if you're trying to sell something as an elite shooter... How many elite, genuinely elite players? People aren't wanting elite stuff. They're wanting, like, we were talking about Fortnite earlier. Any fucker can jump into Fortnite.
Yeah.
Anyone can. It was your first time, for goodness sake, when we went in. So the last thing you want is, I don't really, want to do this if it's just for elite players. I'm just
elite players play CSGO.
But I mean, that's the kind of. I mean, I don't ever want to touch CS:GO.
No,
not
neither.
because I've got anything against the game, but because it's just this like esport driven pro blah blah gambling fucking.
I get my ass kicked.
I just want to walk in and shoot some people, and I'd be having bully hunters in my ear. They'll be saying. Harassment's not a game! Bully hunters! I'd be like, oh my fucking god!
I just want to shoot people.
I just want to shoot a criminal in the face! Well, you're just getting massacred. So that's the only reason why I don't want to touch like Quake. But anyway, Lawbreakers was a fucking dud. It was a dud. D-E-D, dud.
I think I only saw like a few minutes of footage of it, and even just watching it, I was just like, why do I want to play this? I don't. Why am I watching this? That's all I felt from it. Just like, why?
Well, I never watched it on Twitch.
I watched a
couple of videos.
Yeah, on the outchance.
And I was just like, if I want to play Overwatch, I'll play Overwatch. Yeah. And this is I think a bit of an issue with a lot of gaming companies. But before we go into that, so Cliffy B, Lawbreakers tanks, fails miserably, and then he announces we've got a new game coming out from Boss Key Productions, and within I think it was 2 days after this announcement, Radical Heights, their version of a battle royale game, comes out on Steam Early Access.
Right.
And it's essentially a Fortnite clone. Set as in the premise of kind of like a game show, like a Running Man type game show.
Yes,
but it kind of looks like Fortnite. It has that sort of like cartoony aspect to it. You could tell that there's been about 3 days development on it because it looked, rough as a butcher's arsehole.
Mm-hmm.
And it was then I was just like, Cliffy B's chasing. He's just chasing the industry now. What happened to this man? This man was at the forefront of the industry with Unreal and Gears of War, and now his last 2 games, one of them has been a nostalgia trip to try, and that's trying to piggyback off Overwatch. No one's interested. they're playing Overwatch. And the second one is, oh my god, it worked for Epic Games when Fortnite bombed on release. They immediately looked to try and salvage the game. They created Fortnite Battle Royale. Best thing they ever did. But when you just make something as similar as Fortnite, guess what, folks? People are playing Fortnite.
Why? They're gonna play what they know.
Exactly. Why? This is the
problem with the gaming industry at the moment is nobody wants to try something different.
No.
If something is working. If something is working.
If something is working. Look, I spelled dud D-E-D earlier. And I bet like some of the comment section are going off as if I didn't know. I knew I said D-E-D. It was a joke.
That's it. They see something is doing really well and they just want to copy it.
Yes.
Give us something different.
No.
Oh.
Well, why would I give you something different? If I copy something, I might make their money.
But if I'm already playing the other thing, why would I want to play your game? Give me something. Give me a reason.
Same genre.
But I'm quite happy playing the old one.
Yeah, it's. Look,
That's it, isn't it?
No, dude, I'm totally with you. I'm totally with you. This is why I think a lot of games just don't go anywhere because they just try and copy. They just try and copy what the trend is, and they don't quite understand that if somebody's loving Fortnite, it doesn't mean they're going to love your Battle Royale game. It means they're going to love Fortnite.
Yeah.
Because that's the one that they've fallen for. It's the same with PUBG. If people prefer PUBG to Fortnite, why are they going to go and play your Battle Royale game? Well,
they're not.
You know, there's got to be some, excuse the pun, radical. There's got to be some radical difference. It didn't even mean it as a pun. It was just the word I wanted to use. There's got to be some radical difference because radical is the word. There's got to be some radical difference that separates the two. Fortnite is poles apart to PUBG, and they're both battle royale games. So you know, Fortnite did enough variation to really make their product complete and utterly separate from PUBG. And Radical Heights was essentially a Fortnite clone. But I just don't. It's a bit tragic to see this man's kind of like fall from grace. He's now. Then, oh my god, I didn't get to see this. I saw a little bit of it, but apparently he started posting pictures on Twitter after he'd announced that the studio is closing down about future projects that Boss Key Productions were going to do. And it felt like a pity party.
Look at me, please,
poor
please.
Cliffy B. Please. Boo fucking who, Cliffy B.
Like me, like this project I'm working on, please.
Man. Cliff, come back, Cliff. Cliff.
I got an orange.
Got some cock. Look, I'm sad for the people that are going to lose their jobs, obviously. But look,
that's never a good thing.
I'm not too sad because I'm pretty sure if these people are as talented as Cliffy B claims,
they'll be scooped up straight away.
Then they'll be scooped up straight. Yeah, they shouldn't have too much difficulty finding work.
Yeah.
But seriously, best for those type of people. But it's not difficult to see why it's gone down the shitter.
No, it's not.
Because if you chase and you chase and you chase, where's the originality? Those images of games that Cliffy B tweeted out, why the fuck weren't they making those games?
Yeah.
Instead of trying to fucking do another Unreal tournament that nobody's asked for, or trying to do a Fortnite clone that nobody's asking for. Why weren't you focusing on trying to do that game? Or whatever it was you were doing, just whatever pictures you were doing. They might not be fucking anything for all we know.
That's it, isn't it?
But yeah, it's just. So
he's angry.
It's not anger. It's just frustration that you have this person who has proven to be phenomenal. Has genuine Cliffy B has proven to be phenomenal with Gears of War, Unreal Tournament. You cannot knock him for that. Those were both stellar franchises. like I said, he seemed to descend into the world of the mass ego, and then created his own studio where he didn't do what put him on the map, which was be creative and do something different or reinvent. I mean, the third person shooter wasn't a huge thing when Gears of War came out.
That was totally new to me.
A thing. But there was no like defined third person shooter. You look at how many games copied Gears of War in terms of cover shooters.
Yeah.
Everything suddenly started to copy Gears of War because of how good a system, how good a third person shooter system Cliff Bleszinski had actually created. Whereas before, most third person shooters wandering around, it was you just kind of like rolling to avoid. There was no real structure with the third person. You can still see traces of Gears of War in games like Destiny, for God's sake, which is probably the best shooter, even though it's first person, but it still operates off a cover-based system. Halo, Destiny, guess what? Both made by Bungie. Guess what? Looks, clearly influenced by Gears of War in terms of how they were going to operate certain shooting mechanics. So somebody who has had so much talent that could really take something by the scruff of the neck, just descending into generic.
It kind of goes back to that whole thing, like although Gears of War and Unreal did really well for Epic at the time, it wasn't just all Cliffy B.
No,
but you mentioned those games. You think of Cliffy B, but then you have to go back and realize, hold on a second, it was the teams that were there that made them successful as well. I mean, having Cliffy B as the face of them as well kind of helped in some sense.
I absolutely agree with that. Obviously, Cliffy B was the figurehead.
Yeah.
And so, he is the one who's going to get the rub. But in the same time, in the same instance, when you are part of that team, then obviously you're privy to everything that's going on. You're privy to the structure, the ideas, the way that structure changes. And most importantly, you're privy to the understanding of what made it different. The understanding of what makes our third-person shooter different, revolutionary, better, whatever you want to say, than all the others that are out there and going to be done. And R.I.P. Cliffy B's Boss Key Productions.
It's a shame, but I wish him all the very best, though. And I hope that he does bounce back at some point. If he even decides to do anything afterwards.
You didn't sound a smidgen bit sincere.
I never do I?
Well, I think easy. Rating was on the wall. Easy to see why. I ain't got too much sympathy. Got sympathy for the people under him, but I ain't got any sympathy for Cliffy B. None. Just go back to tweeting, mate. Just go back to fucking tweeting. Okay. So, with that, we're wrapping up in just under an hour. Boom!
We did it!
Look what can happen when you have a
play
really
Fortnite.
Shit Fortnite. So AZCast 3 comes to a close. Thanks so much, everyone, for watching. Say goodbye, Zerg.
Say goodbye, Zerg.
And I'm Az, and I'll be back next week with AZCast number... I think I said AZCast number 3. AZCast number 4. Until then, you take care, everyone. Bye for now. Hi everybody, my name's Az. I play the character of Az in the AZCast series. Okay, right. At the end of today's video, I made a big boob. I said things the wrong way around. What I meant to say was Cliffy B's Gears of War 3 garnered a lot of influence from the Halo franchise in using the duck and cover mechanics in the third person for that game. And I said it the wrong way around because it was an hour long and I was getting a bit tired. But don't worry, positive, we've all gone into the comment section to make me aware. But I meant it the other way around, but whatever. Okay, take care. Bye. Yeah, are we done yet? Okay, good.